If you want to lose a lot of weight and get unconventional results to the point where you go back home for the holidays and Karen, your aunt, sits there and says, "Whoa, you look totally different. What did you do? What's your diet? What's your workout routine?" Where you look so different that you're almost unrecognizable. If you want to lose weight so fast that it feels like you're cheating, then I want you to make this one simple change to your diet. And it's really easy. A lot of people drastically overcomplicate this, when in reality, this is your big issue that I want you to fix. And after losing 70 pounds myself, I realized after I made this one simple fix, I was able to go from being overweight, unhappy with how I looked, how I felt, to in a body that I was really proud of, and my life had changed completely. But first, I want you to understand what fast really is, because I think a lot of people tend to trick you on this. So a lot of people sell you on this crazy idea. So let's say you're here, you're at point A. This is where you are at a point where you're just overweight. You're very unhappy with how you look. You're just not in a good spot in your life. When I was overweight, like I said, I hated how I looked. I was not in a good mental position because of this. And you want to get over here to losing weight. And this goal is going to be different for every single person. But let's just say this goal is going to be 30 pounds. Okay? You want to get to this 30-pound goal. And you'll see a lot of people online will say, "This is how you're going to lose weight fast. This is how to lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month." I hate clickbait stuff like this. You'll see my title says lose weight fast. I'm going to tell you what fast really looks like, because I think you get misled a lot of times. So let's say I want to lose 30 pounds. And here's the thing, you hyperfixate on this 30 pounds. All you care about is this, that you actually forget this little timeline all the way in between. You start losing weight, maybe you even are at a point where you're making some progress, and you just kind of forget, like you're on a day-to-day basis, you just constantly look at the scale and you get excited on the days that it spikes down, pissed off on the days that it spikes up, and then it's just like, you're almost like living this constant state of frustration because you're just not at this 30-pound goal. And I think this is where a lot of people go wrong, is they don't know what progress really should look like, because they are told, "Oh, you should be losing 20 pounds in a month." And maybe that would work for some people. And those kinds of people are like the LeBron James of losing weight, or like the Kim Kardashian. Like, they're the people that are probably overweight to start in the beginning, like a lot of weight to lose, and then they just figure things out really quick. This is not most people. And I'm not saying you can't get incredible results, but you shouldn't go into it with the expectation of being able to lose an insane amount of weight in just 1 month when you've been overweight your entire life. Or maybe just a good chunk of your life, or you transitioned from being healthy. Maybe you didn't really know how you were in a spot where you were slim, and then now all of a sudden you've gained weight later in your life and you want to lose it off. So a lot of people they get stuck on this 30 pound, 40 pound, 50 pound, whatever it is. They get stuck on this mindset. And they forget and lose sight of what progress really should look like. So a half a pound of weight loss a week is great progress. It really is. And then 2 pounds of weight loss a week is great progress. This spectrum here is really good progress. This is what weight loss should look like after that first week. On that first week of weight loss, or first 2 weeks, you might lose a lot pretty quick. And that's because you're losing water weight off your body, or you're losing volume of food in your stomach, and then you're probably also losing some fat, okay? After that first week or 2 weeks, this is what good weight loss progress is really going to look like. 2 pounds of weight loss a week, that is fast progress. That's 1,000 calorie deficit. When people are losing weight, typically they tend to eat around 2,000-ish calories, maybe even a little bit lower. Put this into perspective. 1,000 calorie deficit, that is a third of your diet that is now gone. A third of the amount of calories that you were eating, now gone. Like, really put that into perspective. That's a big number. So that means 2 pounds of weight loss a week. That's fast progress. And like I said, people tend to sell you on this thing that you should be losing even quicker than this, because all they care about is you focusing on your end goal. I want you to start getting really good at focusing on these little goals along the way, because that's how you should be breaking down your weight loss, not fixating at the end. So now that you understand good progress, let's talk about where you go wrong along the way and how to fix this. So this is what your weight loss tends to look like. We got our graph here. And you get to a point where you start wanting to lose weight, okay? So you're maybe seeing a little bit of progress, and it's maybe not as fast as you want it to be. So maybe you cut out sugar out of your diet. You did this for a couple weeks and then bang, you quit and you went back to where you were. Or you're like, this isn't working. I'm not seeing results. So you try fasting. You try another diet. You say, oh, let me see if this is going to work. You lose a little bit of pounds in the beginning, but you're still not at that long-term end goal, and you go back to where you were. Or you try keto, you try some diet like this, and you start doing the same thing. You lose a little bit, but maybe not as much as you wanted, so you quit entirely and you gain the weight right back. Or you try YouTube workouts. You do this for a little while, but you don't really see the incredible weight loss results or just even the body composition results that you want to see, and you gain the weight right back. This is one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people keep making, is they start right here. After a little while, maybe a couple weeks, they end. Try something new. Start. Try something new. I want you to think about your weight loss like this, and to put this into a little bit of perspective. And I don't know much about the stock market, to be honest with you. I don't dump extra money into the stock market, and that is purely because I put extra money into making videos for you and helping you lose fat. So I want you to think about it like this. Let's say this is our stock market here. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about it, but you put money in right here because you're like, okay, people tell you that you need to start investing. So you put money in, and maybe it goes up a little bit, and then you start seeing it crash, and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. So you pull your money out right here at this red dot. You pull it out, okay, because you started to freak out. Then later in life, maybe a couple months go by and you're like, oh, you see the stock market start to go up again. So you put your money back into the stock market here, okay? And then you see it again. It goes, oh wait, yeah, I got that right, not color. You see it again, where it's like, oh, it actually is starting to go up, and then bang, it goes down again, and you freak out again, so you pull out of the stock market another time. And then this continues to repeat over the next year, several years, where you're like, oh, I know I need to start putting money into it, and you see it going up, and maybe it continues to go up, and then bang, you have moments where it crashes down, and you freak out again, and you continue to pull out. Now, I want you to take a look at this. If I were to flip this piece of paper around, this is a lot of what happens with people's weight. They start losing weight, they try something for a little while, and then they gain a lot of it back because they quit, because they freak out. They're like, things aren't working as great as I thought they were. So like I was showing you here with this. And then they later on try something new. They try it for a little while, doesn't really work out the way they want to, they're not getting the results they want, and they pull out and quit entirely. Now, this can be to the point where you just like feel like you're trying everything and nothing seems to be working. And this is a very simple tip that I want you to really pay attention to right now. It is not what you are doing. It is how you are doing it. You should see a common trend here. You start something and then you quit after about 3 weeks. You need to stick to a framework and do this for the long run. When you stick to a framework, you are going to start losing weight. And what I did was I stuck to a framework for a long period of time to see if it really was going to work for me. Now, I'm going to give you an exact framework because a lot of people don't. This is the framework that is going to work for you. And I call this the slingshot framework. So the first thing that I want you to do in the slingshot framework, so this is the little thing, handle holding. Hopefully, my drawing skills aren't the best. And this is the first step that I want you to do, because with every little step that you're going to be taking along this framework, this slingshot is going to get pulled back more and more to where the more you pull it back, the further that you are going to go, or what this means is going to be the more weight loss results that you are going to see the further we pull us back. So the very first thing, the very first step in this framework that I want you to do, so I'm gonna show you exactly what you should be doing and give you all the tools, because like I said, people will just tell you something, but they don't actually give you the access of all the tools that you need to do to see success. So the very first thing that you need to do is you need to find a calorie deficit. A calorie deficit essentially just means you eat less than you burn in a day, and it's very simple. You just need to start and run with it, all right? So I'm just gonna use myself as an example, but when you do this, if you want access to this calorie calculator, all I want you to do is gonna be in the link in the description, okay? You can access that, and along with that, it's gonna be a whole free mini course attached to it to help teach you how to start using it to lose weight, because once again, I'm trying to give you as much stuff as possible. So me, I am 27 years old. I am 5'11". I like to round up to 6 foot. We'll put 5'11" for this. I weigh 177 pounds at this moment, just because I'm losing weight currently. If you want to know more about that, I have a whole video on what I'm doing to lose weight. I think it's called How I Lost like 6.3 pounds in some sort of weeks. I'll try to also attach this at the end of the video, okay? And then I would say I'm pretty active, okay? I'm gonna put moderately active just because it's probably where most people are gonna be. I'm pretty active. All you need to do, you click calculate calories. So you're gonna have 3 numbers here at the bottom. You're also gonna have a whole free video course here that I've made and that I walk you through. You're gonna have 3 numbers. You're gonna have your maintenance number, okay? So this is the number how many calories that you burn on a daily basis. So if you ate this number, you wouldn't gain or you wouldn't lose weight. Roughly, it's an estimate, okay? That's how all these calorie calculators are. They're estimates. Then I have a lose fat number. This is the number of calories that I should be eating every single day to lose a pound of weight loss a week. If I were to try to lose a little bit faster, I would bump this down a little bit. But this is the number that I would start to shoot for to lose weight, okay? All you need to do is download that calorie calculator. Like I said, completely free. If you want to get off my email list after, you can just unsubscribe, okay? But completely free. And then you're going to use that number and you're going to start tracking everything consistently. So the very first step of this framework is find your calorie deficit. And then all you're going to do is you're going to track. If you're going to do anything, this is by far the number one thing that you should be doing, okay? But find your calorie deficit. That is the number one thing I need you to do. And then literally I have it in an area where you can just do it all for you, okay? Now, let's move on to the second step in our slingshot framework. So if we wanted to multiply your progress, make it a little faster, this is the next thing that I would want you to focus on. Because I like to think about these things like as multipliers. Because think about this, like this very first one is like, oh, if you want to 1x your weight loss progress, this is the first framework I want you to do. If you want to double your progress and start to see more results, it's the second thing I want you to start doing. So I want you to take a look at this. This is what my client sent me the other day, and this is their average steps. So you're going to see a few days where these steps are very high. And then you're going to see a couple days where these steps are a little lower. And you're going to see an average of these steps. And that average is 7,183. So all I want you to do is you are going to go onto your watch. You can do the health app on your phone if you need to. And it's going to tell you what your average steps are going to be on a daily basis. You're going to now take that number and you are going to add 2,000 to that number. So for my client, I would say 9,183 steps is what they would try to average consistently. And a lot of people are going to give you this thing of like, oh, just hit 10,000 steps every single day. So for my client, I'd probably round down and say 9,000 steps is what I want them to hit every single day. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep these high days where people are motivated. But I'm trying to raise the tide a little bit on the days where the average is really low. Because I want to make sure you're hitting something consistently over a daily basis. And when you start getting more steps, not only are you going to feel motivated from doing so, and you're not only going to be fixated on weight loss, but you're going to start burning more calories on a daily basis. I don't think this is what you should always be thinking about, but it is a big piece of weight loss. And on top of that, it is just one of the best things that you can be doing for your health. Because most people say, oh, I'm hitting 10,000 steps every single day, but I'm not losing weight. Well, it's probably because you're hitting a lot of steps one day and the other days you're practically doing nothing. We need to bring that average up and start doing this consistently on a daily basis. So our second step in here is going to be increasing your steps. When you increase your steps, you will pull the slingshot back further and you will multiply your weight loss by even more. And weight loss will become a lot easier. So now that we got that part, let's move on to our third piece of the framework, which I'm going to give you again for free. So when people are losing weight, they don't really know what their workout should be. So you go onto YouTube and you try these bodyweight workouts at home. You do them for a long period of time, but you're still not seeing the results that you want to see. The reason why is you want to start making sure you're doing strength training workouts where you're progressing in the gym each week. And this doesn't have to be increasing weight every single week. This can be increasing reps, time, sets, also adding some weight. And you want to be doing 2 to 3 full body workouts each week. The reason why is you hit all the muscle groups a couple times a week. If you have a muscle group you care more about, then you would just do a little bit more of those types of exercises. For example, your lower body. If you care more about growing your lower body, you do a few more of the lower body exercises on your full body day. Also, this makes sure so you're not spending hours in a gym. You're not spending hours every single day. So 2 to 3 is going to be one of the best things for you. Now, I'm going to pop up here. This is a free workout that I have. It is going to be 2 full body days. I'm showing you day 1 right now. And you're going to notice in this, there's the blue little hyperlinks here. I have in-depth tutorials on every single one to teach you how to do this. And all you need is dumbbells. I made this workout for you to do at home. It is strength training, so it can help grow your muscles as long as you're progressing. And you'll see I have different boxes here. The reason why is there is something that has the sets I have, and then it says how many reps you should be doing, and then you can enter in the weight in the box. So you're reading everything across. So over time, you're writing this down, and you are going to be progressing. You're going to write down how much you did for how many reps. So maybe week 1 you did 8 reps at a 30-pound goblet squat, okay? And then next week you did 9 reps at 30 pounds, and then 10 reps. And then the 4th week you're like, oh, I got 10 reps. I'm going to bump it up to 35 pounds and go back down to 8 reps, okay? So you're seeing day 1 here. I have a second day to this workout. All you need to do, in the link in the description, I have a whole free 7-day plan. In that plan, I send you an email every single day over the next 7 days, teaching you how to get you from off track to back on track with losing weight. In one of those emails, I think it's like email 4, I don't know exactly off the top of my head, I have a free workout that I send you. So I send you this entire workout day 1, and then I'm sending you day 2. And like I said, you just click on the links and there's in-depth tutorials as well. I'm giving you all the resources possible. All right. So it's going to take a few days for it to come to you, just because it's going to be in like one of my, I think it's my 4th email or 5th email. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but you're going to get it. All right. So in the description, like I said, calorie calculator if you need it, and then also the 7-day plan, which is going to teach you how to start implementing a framework that's going to work for weight loss, but also I'm giving you a free workout within there as well. So our third one here is going to be workouts. So when you get all 3 of these combined together, you multiply weight loss. And like I told you in the beginning, people overcomplicate this. The simple thing you need to do, it's not following the next crazy trendy diet. It's doing these simple things of getting in a calorie deficit, increasing your step count, and consistently hitting workouts. And doing this for a long period of time, following a framework for a long period of time, and learning from it along the way. That's where you see weight loss results. It's not trying something crazy and expecting it to be super fast. And if you want to make sure you not only lose weight, but lose weight for good, then I recommend that you watch this next video here.